I'm Pete Wright.
And I'm Andy Nelson.
Welcome to the next reel. When the movie ends,
our conversation begins.
Sunset Boulevard is over. Is it Mr. DeMille? I'm ready for my close-up, or I'm ready for my close-up?
You're
Mr.
supposed
DeMille?
to have this ready. Or are you playing into the memory struggle?
I'm ready for my close-up, Mr. DeMille.
That's not it.
Mr. DeMille, I'm ready for my close-up. Close-up it should happen now, Mr. DeMille. Mr. DeMille, roll camera, action, sound, speed.
Snap to it, Mr. DeMille.
Snap to it, Mr.
Close
DeMille.
Up now.
Now. I'm sure one of those will work.
It is now. I was just reading this because it's all right, Mr. DeMille. I'm ready for my close-up.
All right, Mr. DeMille. I'm ready for my close-up. Okay, nailed it in one. Sunset Boulevard, Andy. Is this your favorite movie of all time ever?
It's a great movie. It's not my favorite movie of all time, but I really love this one.
Me too. I can't wait to talk about the fatal flaw in the movie for me because I love so much about it, and it has a fatal flaw.
Interesting.
I know. I didn't even see it coming. I didn't see it coming this time around, and I just went, hoo, when it happened.
So you've never noticed it before, and now something has happened.
Now it bothers me.
Wow.
I know. What do you think about that? Yeah, I know. Amazing how things change. That fatal flaw does not involve Norma Desmond, not even a little bit.
Does it? Is it something that is going to affect your ratings and your overall feeling of the film?
Nah, probably not.
Okay. So it's a
fatal.
quibble.
Fatal might be strong.
So it's
strong word.
So it's a not quite fatal quibble. Is really.
Yeah,
what
well, I didn't want to
we're
say
looking at
quibble because I feel like you cornered the market on quibble, and I need my own. I need to brand my own thing.
Fatal flaw.
So I'm starting
might
with fatal
be going
flaw.
a little strong.
Ratchet back as we get to it. We'll see. I'll land on something.
By the end, let's see where you land with it.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, this is the final film ending our series, the Platinum Performances, the 1950 Best Actress Oscar Race series. Here we are looking at Sunset Boulevard. We talked about All About Eve way back in our Bette Davis series. We've now added Born Yesterday and Caged. And finally, we're getting to Gloria Swanson's performance here as Norma Desmond, the silent movie star pushing for a return. Not a comeback, but a return.
No.
In Sunset Boulevard. Billy Wilder, 1950. Yes, here we are.
Okay. We have to start with Swanson, I think. She's the biggest thing
She certainly is.
In this movie, so that's exciting. What do you think of her performance?
I mean, it's a fantastic performance, and it's interesting because Gloria Swanson, I mean, the story of her, obviously, I think is just as much a part of this film as just her performances, because Gloria Swanson was a Paramount actress in the silent era who had been directed by Cecil B. DeMille, who had like the studio's 6 biggest pictures like back to back at the time. Like she was a mega star that did fade from the scenes, and this was in some way kind of a comeback film. So it's very kind of meta textual the way that this story is told. And it's interesting. I've seen few of her films. I've seen Queen Kelly, which that's the film that she's screening, which is interestingly directed by Eric von Stroheim, who plays Max, the butler in this film. I've only seen that. I've seen this, and then I've seen Airport 75. So I've seen very few of her films, but she was huge in the silent era. And I think she's, interestingly and purposefully, the way I read it, pulling some of the silent performative modalities, like the big movements and things like that, the gestures and the eyes and the facial expressions, into her performance, as if that's kind of become the way that she just is now. And because I think you could read this film like, oh, she's just playing it so big, but I think I read it all as very intentional and designed to be this performer. And so it was a strong performance, and I think she handles the ups and downs. She definitely has her downs as she's dealing with suicidal thoughts and struggling with her emotional attachment that she's grown with Joe, this screenwriter. And so it all plays, and then leading into kind of the madness that she falls into at the end. I think I really find that her performance is incredibly strong and well worth the nomination. I thought that she's just fantastic.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. I mean, she is the sort of textbook example of, if you sit too close to the TV, your eyes will stick that way. She was in so many silent movies that her face just stuck in giant performative mode all the time. And I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I think her over-the-topness is what makes the performance work. But the other thing about this movie is just how much, to your point, how much reality bleeds into the movie itself. Not the fact that we have, so many pieces of stunt casting. I mean, the sequence where Max and Norma, where we're watching Norma's old films, are films that Stroheim himself directed. Footage from a film that she was in that wasn't finished. Right, Queen Kelly, you said that. And I find that so extraordinarily moving that is how they chose to make this movie. Like it's practically a documentary. It is one of those things that I just found myself really deeply touched by this time around. It is one of those movies, I think, that works on so many levels, but the more you know, the more touching it becomes, and the more sad for her career, for her life, this becomes.
Yeah, and it's interesting because, in the real world, she had wasn't getting the calls as much anymore. So she had kind of moved to New York and was just doing her own thing, working in TV or whatever came up. And she got the call to do this. And after this, the only offers that she was then getting are similar characters of, these kind of past their prime older performers and things like that. And people were surprised when they would meet her, because after seeing this, they expected her to be this character. Yeah. Like, it was so meta that they thought that it was just, this is how Gloria Swanson was. And they're like, oh, she's actually really nice and all of this stuff. And so it was a real surprise to people. And I think that's, we talked about this a little bit when we talked about Born Yesterday a few episodes back, how Judy Holliday became viewed as being this blonde ding-a-ling, and everybody just kind of expected that. And those were the roles that they were getting her, that she was getting offers for. And so it's interesting how these performances were so strong that they became defining for new pigeonholes for these actresses. Like the studio system just didn't know what else to do with these actresses.
Yeah. It is a it's a funny way to kind of lock these actresses into something, right? It's not that there weren't opportunities coming, though I'm sure those opportunities were dwindling, but that there was, it turns out, only one trope left at a certain point. There was only one way to exist in Hollywood, and it was this, this one sort of model. And that it's just, I'm not sure how much has changed, although I have to tell you, I'm here watching Hacks right now, which is effectively a Sunset Boulevard story. And it's Jean Smart doing the absolute work of her career. I mean, it is just incredible and beautiful and daffy and heartfelt. And I could not help but think of this movie, as I'm watching in parallel, the story of Hacks. So I think she's absolutely transcendent.
Yeah, I think that she's just really stunning in her performance here, and gives her all. And I think that's what's really exciting about it, is she clearly viewed this as an important performance for her career. And I think that it speaks to that, what she's doing here. So yeah.
Okay, so the story itself. I skipped the story. What do you want to do?
Okay. Well, I thought we should, since we talked about her, I was thinking we should jump into William Holden as her opposite here.
Awesome.
our
Billy
second
Holden.
William Holden performance of this series, because he also is in Born Yesterday. And this is my favorite between the two. I just think that he's a great... this is a very much kind of a film noir story, the way Billy Wilder and team crafted it. And I think that with the opening the way it is, finding William Holden floating in a pool, that fantastic shot under the water, which actually wasn't, but it's from above shooting into a mirror, reflecting. That shot is just haunting, like the way that he looks in the water there. And then his voiceover, which is such a key part of the noir tropes and just kind of what we expect from noir. I love William Holden, and I don't know, I'm trying to think like what some of my favorite William Holden performances are. This is up there. This, Wild Bunch, Bridge on the River Kwai, Network. What else? Stalag 17 is a good one. Going all the way back to like Golden Boy, that where he was discovered. I mean, he's just a strong, solid actor, and he's one of those people that it's like, I don't know if I've ever seen him in something where I stop seeing it as William Holden doing a performance. He just performs really well. It's not like he disappears into the role or anything.
Kind of a George Clooney. Like, you never quite lose it, but you know how good he is.
Yeah, exactly.
He's a star. He's just a straight up, icon. I totally agree. He fits this part to a T. There is some complexity in making this believable, because we know that he starts from a position of desperation. He needs money to keep his car out of hock. And it's first and foremost an economic story, right?
The times are so funny when they would just send somebody, we need you to finish paying your car bill.
Yeah, right. Luckily, scale has made it such that they can't just send thugs to follow you around all the time anymore. Yeah. They have to send letters and strongly worded voicemails.
Right.
But I think that he is such a sort of handsome leading man hero type that it's like, starting this movie, I found myself wondering, am I going to believe it when he becomes, when he just sort of evolves into this weird relationship with her, this sort of sugar mommy kind of relationship with her. And I absolutely do. That is a bit of leading man sleight of hand that is unique, right? This is kind of a wackadoo story, and yet I believe it when he becomes sort of comes onto her payroll, and becomes such an integrated part of her life.
Yeah, her new boy toy. It's very interesting to kind of see this depiction in here, and it's interesting to watch his performance, because he's clearly frustrated with the situation, disappointed that this is his decision that he's made to kind of just stay along for this crazy ride. But it's like, sometimes you're in bed, you've made your bed and you're lying in it, and you're like, I really need to get out of this bed, but it's comfortable. Like, I'm getting all this money and all this stuff. And, I have time I'm writing this terrible script, but I'm also having some time to write this other thing. But he looks kind of disgusted with himself often.
Yeah.
And I think that's strong way to play it, because I think that I buy into his frustration. He's a struggling writer. He needs the money. He needs a place to stay. He needs a car. He needs all of these things. And now he has it all. And he still is ostensibly a struggling writer. It's not like over the course of the story he's sold anything. Just because what's her name? Betty has latched onto this screenplay of his that they're working on together. They still haven't made any money from it. So it's not like he's on payroll like she is,
Right. I think that's the nuance that I'm trying to get at. It's that it's not like he ever, I never feel like he's making a choice to stay there. His first choice was to stay there to help her with her script. But then he's just there, right? And time passes, and suddenly he's just always there. And I think that's the sort of the insidiousness of her, wealth and allure. Is what keeps him there, and it's just so quiet, right? It's so quiet. His decision is decision free. He just is there because of inertia, and I think that's the piece that makes that friction when he realizes it and has to start sneaking out at night. That much more sort of feels dangerous. Also, because we know what she's willing to do when he leaves her.
Right. And I think that's a part of it is he's gotten to a point where he feels he has to sneak out. Right. Yeah. And it's just like, that says so much that I've got to sneak out on this older lady, all of 50, as we find out.
Oh, my
She's
goodness.
Not, it's like, oh, Hollywood. This quote, older lady who is, holding him there, or, and it's, I don't know. It's really kind of a toxic way to kind of like stay for all of the reasons,
Yeah. Yeah.
But speaking of toxic, then there's Eric von Stroheim as Max the butler, who has been her butler forever. He also, again, very meta, had been a director, had discovered her when she was 16, had made these films with her, had been her first husband, we find out.
Fatal Flaw.
And now she's been married 2 other times. We found his fatal flaw. She's been married 2 other times, and he's still buttling.
He is still buttling. Andy, nice use of the word. I buttle. Yes, and I found this time I realized, oh, right, this is Falcon Crest. This is Dallas. This is Dynasty. The fact that he was the first husband and her director and now her butler for so many years, I felt like they put a hat on a hat on a hat for Max. It was too much for me this time. And I otherwise liked Max. I never wondered why he was still there, because I never really wondered why Joe was still there. It was the same reason for me. I didn't need the entanglement of his, former romantic and directorial history with her. You like the soap opera parts?
Well, I don't necessarily think it's the same reasons that Joe is there. Like, I think...
Okay, give me why.
I think that he feels incredibly protective of her. And I feel like he has to take care of her. And this is what he does to take care of her. And I don't know, we never find out at what point he started buttling. Was he doing it during the second and third marriages? Did he come in afterward because she was lost and alone? We don't really know. But now he's here and he's taking care of her. And I think that speaks a lot to somebody who just feels like this is like, maybe there is still love, but there certainly is, like, I don't know, almost a parental protective nature that he has, like, all the way through. Like, he's the one who's talking to Joe about you can't do these things. You can't say these things. I will tell her that this is what's happening, but we can't, talk about this. We've had to remove all the locks because of her previous attempts at suicide. Like, he's very much trying to take care of every little thing about who she is and why, and which goes all the way to his final moment in the film, which is beautiful. Like, that is like a painful moment for him to watch her, to play director again, to get back into this moment and give her the direction to kind of come down the stairs and everything. And like, as he's giving the cues, you can see the pain on his face because he knows that this is what has to be done. But as somebody who like has this deep affinity and need to care for her, like, it breaks his heart that he has to do this in order to get her down the stairs for the police.
Okay. I agree with all of that, right? I just didn't need the extra bit that he was the first. Like, if you can just imagine, everything you just said is true, but that he was the first husband, like that angle, it felt a bridge too far. I understand absolutely the allegiance to spending a career with her, the love that develops over years and decades that makes this relationship what it is, and it, in all of its highs and its really disgusting sort of emotionally entangled lows. I get all of that, but I felt like the husband angle was too much. I even could give you the director angle, the discovery angle, because I think that plays into the sort of notorious kind of poisonous atmosphere of the studio system at the time, and that even works for me, and it keeps it in the realm of sort of Hollywood duplicity. But the husband angle was, I just felt unnecessary. I preferred it being this professional than platonic love for this woman who is clearly year over year deteriorating a little bit more. And I thought that was really powerful. It just felt unnecessary, the husband bit.
I guess I can see that. I do like it though. I think that it's, I mean, yeah, maybe it is Dallas or Falcon Crest soap opera dramatic, but it gives it an angle that I think also speaks to, I think it adds to the toxicity, which we don't really get if it's just director. You know, I think that the fact that he had married her and you know, so say she was 16 when he discovered her, say he was a young director at all of 25. So maybe like 9 or 10 years older than her, something like that. And so it's going to be a Hollywood marriage where I don't know if it's going to ever be a healthy relationship. It's definitely one where she probably she maybe had daddy issues. Who knows exactly what drew her to him, got married, and then probably was already fooling around and left. And so I sense that there's also this toxic element to him still needing to take care of her. And perhaps just like her, as this person who's latched onto this script, Salome, that she wants to make with Mr. DeMille, he has latched onto her again. I mean, obviously he doesn't have anything else going on. All he's doing is this. And so he's given over everything in his life to just helping take care of her. And so I think it adds to the toxic element by having him be a previous husband. I do agree it's soap operatic, but I think the toxicity is what makes it work for me.
Well, and I'm down for toxicity too. I actually think that what you describe, I think I have the same thing in my head, that there was this weird relationship. And it actually makes it more sad if they never got married, right? If there was no marriage, it was just like weird longing that manifested in this other kind of marriage, a marriage between an aging star and a butler. That seems more sad. I think the case you just made, I really agree with, and I think it makes my case better too.
Well, but you're taking the toxicity out, because then it's not there's not this toxic draw that he still has to be part of her life, even though they've married and divorced, and here he is still wanting to be part of that.
Well, I think my toxicity is in the older, younger, the sort of Lolita story that evolves into this weird, obsessive, I have to buttle for you or I am nothing kind of a relationship.
Yeah. Well, regardless, I think we both agree.
We're both fans.
We're fans of this weird relationship. It works.
Yeah.
I know you want to talk about the story, but since we're already doing this, let's just go through our fourth of the big leads. And this is Nancy Olson playing Betty Schaefer, the reader at Paramount, who we first meet telling Joe's the guy at Paramount that Joe's script sucks, with Joe in the room. And which kicks off their relationship, which evolves over the course of the story, and she also got an Oscar nomination out of it. So, I mean, how does Betty work? Is it is it big enough? Does it work? Does it play?
Andy, what's going on with the close talking party scene where he sees her, the second time and maybe the third time? And they go into the rainbow room, which is the bathroom, to have a work conversation and end up almost kissing, like real screenplay edging in this sequence. And it's just diabolical. What's the deal with the pace of their relationship? Did you buy it? Did you buy how they were written, how fast she fell in love with him and wanted to ditch her boy toy?
I think that in many ways there's different. We're in a movie world, and we have to remember that relationships come in all sorts of speeds, usually much faster than the real world.
Right.
And I think that's just part of what we're getting here is a speedy draw. I mean, it plays as from the first meeting, they're kind of butting heads, but we already have a sense that there's a draw, and we're going to see that draw as they come together. And so I think that's
especially
just how
because they're
Hollywood
the two
plays.
most beautiful people in the movie, right? Like, right. Of course, just by beautiful person character economy, they're gonna hook up.
Yeah, right. Yeah, this is the George Clooney, Julie Roberts of Ocean's 11.
That's exactly right.
If any two of the 11 are going to pair up, it's those two.
It's Clooney and Roberts. That's what I was thinking about. The fact that, they go into the rainbow room, like the boyfriend is right there, like right there. This is the fastest infidelity, I think, in film. It is speedy infidelity.
I had forgotten how quickly they get to almost kissing with the boyfriend, just like right there.
Just just right in the room. It's right there.
Yeah,
as a result, I don't have a particular fondness for either of them but particularly, well, I guess either of them, because he is, he's a manipulator, which is weird. Part of what makes their relationship work for me is the fact that he gets to exert some control in his life in some kind of negative ways outside of his relationship with Norma, where when he's at home with Norma, he has no control, right? And so it really feels like he's moving forward quickly because he's just trying to kind of keep some authority, some agency in his life. Does that wash?
I think it plays. I can buy that. I do think that there's, I don't know. It's interesting because it's hard to read Betty all the time, because is she actually wanting to kiss him, even though she's dating Artie and soon will be engaged to Artie, as we learn. What is this special, or this especially fast connection that she has to him when they decide to start working on the script together? Is some of that because they just want to be spending more time with each other, right? Is she drawn to him? I mean, they almost kiss later when they're working on the script. And that's when he tells her, do me a favor, always stay at least 2 feet away from me. Because he's not trusting himself because he's too drawn to her.
What a dick move, too, right? If you get too close, it's going to be your fault if I come onto you. It's all on you if you don't clock me over the head with a shoe, because I can't help myself. I'm just a man.
You smell too good. It's not just the shampoo.
Yeah, right. But in so many ways, like, look at the parallels between his relationship with Norma and Betty's relationship with him. He's the Norma in this relationship. She strikes me as she's younger. Do you buy that she's 22? Not sure that I buy that, but she's younger. She has things that she really likes about his writing. He's clearly done more writing. There is a sort of professional fondness that she sparks with him early on, and develops a little crush on him in the industry. You could say that she's kind of out of control too, just the way he is with Norma.
She was 22 when the film came out, just so you know.
God, that was crazy. No way.
Yeah.
She probably looked 22 when she was 15, too. She probably looked 22 the day she died. Some people, man, it's her and Clooney.
That's right. There's an element there that it does like your point's an interesting one, and it does make me wonder what their relationship would be like had he not ended up with Norma and living at her place. If none of that had happened, if he'd lost his car, whatever the case may be, but if after that conversation with Betty, when she rips on his script, presumably the next time they meet each other would have still been at that New Year's party. He still would have gone there. Mm-hmm. Would he, not having Norma in his life and all of the frustration and everything he has with himself, would he have acted that way with Betty?
That's a really good question. I think there is knowing the movie that we have, probably so, but I like to think that he would have had more of a choice in the matter, right? That he would maybe not have had the need to exert his authority over his, like, he made the case that this guy is a friend of his, right? Like, that may have had additional weight on the relationship calculus.
Yeah.
I don't think. I mean, he's such a middle of the road guy. You know what I mean? Like you just from scene to scene. Is he chaotic neutral? Is he chaotic good? Is he, like, what did he roll for? For his stats. It just feels like he wavers back and forth. He's so contextually driven. And maybe that starts because he's in a state of economic woe.
Well, and again, a lot of it is just because he's also the star of a film noir, right?
Yeah, for sure.
He needs to be behaving this way. And I just think that goes to Billy Wilder and, his collaborator of many years, Charles Brackett, working on this screenplay, along with D.M. Marshman Jr., who came on, knowing what story they were trying to tell. And I think that speaks to really Wilder having worked. We've talked about his noirs, like we talked about Double Indemnity. He's a director who knows this type of story. And I think he knows that with this world, that this is the sort of character we need to get out of Joe. And so I think it speaks a lot to the script and how well it's crafted.
Yeah. It really does feel like we've got we've put Joe in a maze of of just bad decisions, and yet every decision he makes comes from an understandable reason. Right? Like, I never question why. I mean, I understand how he gets himself into these positions and how one leads to another. It's just a guy making bad choices for understandable reasons.
Yeah, really is. I mean, we've danced around the story quite a bit, but I mean, in general, the story is this young screenwriter who, as we said, he's broke. He can't afford his car. He hides out in this what appears to be abandoned house. Turns out it's not. It's the home of Norma Desmond. He ends up drawn into her web, where she hires him essentially as a writer to rework this massive piles of notes and everything of this script that is supposed to be her return, not her comeback. Mm-hmm. And and again, she also falls for him. He becomes her boy toy. They have to live with Max. They have a funeral for her pet monkey, which is one of the first, when he comes into the place, that's how we start, because she mistakes him for the person who brings the coffin so that they can actually go bury this pet chimpanzee of hers that has died out in her backyard. It's a weird way to start the film.
A flag on the field. Did you like that? Were you in favor of the monkey funeral?
I thought it spoke very much to just the strange world that you have with some of these incredibly rich stars, where he shows up and he walks into, you're supposed to have brought the coffin for my pet chimpanzee. It's like, what?
Yeah.
Like, it's such there's a line that Billy Wilder said when his cinematographer asked, like, what sort of lighting do you want this scene to look like? He's like, just your standard monkey funeral.
Well, I'm in favor of it. Just as a short, we could move beyond it. I really enjoyed the fact that the first thing we get with Norma Desmond is preparations for the chimp funeral. I thought that was a really good touch and such awesome world building. And I admit, find it funny. I want to start just with the voiceover, because this is a noir thing. Yeah. Voiceovers be voiceovers. This voiceover is in the voice of Joe. And Joe, when we first see him, is dead. Joe is the body in the pool. And I want to know if you have a literal read on it, a supernatural read on it, if you think Wilder does not intend any additional deeper meaning at all. How do you make sense of the voiceover from beyond the grave?
I guess I've never really thought that deeply about it, because it is so noirish as far as the tone that we have with this film, to have the voiceover kicking in, describing, this is how I got here, this is how I ended up dead. I don't know. It just plays. It works for me. It's much better than what they initially did. I don't know if you read about the early test screenings that they had of this. It was Joe in a funeral home, and he's brought in, and then he sits up, and all of the other dead bodies sit up, and they start talking about how they got to be where they are. And so then he relays his whole story. And audiences were cracking up because it was so silly with all these people who are supposedly dead sitting up and chatting.
I'm so relieved that didn't stick. So relieved. That's the worst. Yeah. Oh my God. Well, because especially when you take that out of it, when you just don't acknowledge the fact that Joe's a ghost, right? Yeah. It really makes the whole movie this sort of deterministic roller coaster. Like, you already know that every bad choice Joe makes is going to lead to this inevitable outcome. He will be dead, and you get to hear him process the everything up to the night of his death when the voiceover stops. And I think that has these awesome sort of reverberations to the idea that Hollywood itself is just a death machine. We open with the death of the chimpanzee. Joe's dead. Everybody. It doesn't matter what role you play in Hollywood. Your economic desperation, your psychological entrapment with this aging movie star, whatever choices you make, you're going to end up dead in a pool. And I really like that.
It's very dark, very bleak.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. Like, there's a bit of a chilling realization when you know how it ends, and he makes that last turn, like the tire falls off his car, and he makes that turn into effectively the haunted driveway of Norma Desmond, the overgrown house, and he hides his car away in the garage. Like, that's the moment his death is sealed, right?
Yeah.
It all starts from these idiots chasing him for running him down for $300.
Yeah, it's a fatalistic view of film noir, where they don't really have a choice. Like, it's an inevitability that we're watching here. Like, this is how your fate has been decided.
Yeah, I find that really that's compelling. And as I think I speak for us both, voiceover in general is a noted antagonist to a lot of films. I did not hate this one.
Oh, good.
I really like
Glad to hear it.
Yeah.
The relationships, we have the ups and downs between Joe and Norma, and then we do have the growing relationship that happens with Joe and Betty when at a point when Artie has gone to Arizona on a project and is stuck in Arizona because it's supposed to be sunny and it's raining. They rewrite it for rain. They start filming and now it's sunny. And so he's going to be there for a long time. So Betty and Joe fall for each other. And just as all of that is happening, and then Artie wants her to come out there, this is when Norma realizes there's the realization as to what's going on, and Betty figures it all out, and she comes over to the house and has this confrontation with Joe after Norma has called, and Joe tells her essentially, get out, go to Artie, leave me. Like again, speaking to fate, he kind of realizes and decides, like, this is where I need to be. He doesn't leave. He stays here. Now he's packing his stuff, to leave her, but he won't go with Betty. How does that whole, how do you read that as far as his decision to push her away?
Well, I think it has more to do with the fact that he is recognized. He's packing because he's recognized his deep emotional entanglement and financial entanglement with Norma, and to get rid of every other external feature in his life. He knows that he comes to the realization that that's bad for him. He needs to be free of his relationship with Norma Desmond. Now, I read it that he torpedoes his relationship with Betty because he knows Norma is watching and he doesn't want to actually leave her with any more of a broken heart than she's already going to have when he leaves. That's my sense of it. He finds it going to be easier for him to extract himself from the situation if she is not doubly brokenhearted. What do you think?
So you think it's for Norma that he does that? I read it that he does it, and I guess it actually could play into both. I read it that he did it for Betty because he's like, I have to push her away. I have to break her heart in whatever is going on with us, because I recognize that I've become my own toxic mess, and I have to get her out of here to save her, push her back to Artie, where things will go well for her. And
yeah, I can buy that too. I think you're right.
I think we can have both.
Yeah, I do too. I think that's definitely part of it. And I think that's part of his awakening in the movie. Like, that's when he wakes up and realizes, oh, wait a minute, I can do stuff. We, of course, know that doing stuff will lead to him dead in a pool. But he does have choice. He has choice. And he doesn't have to be just a dumbass the whole time, right? He doesn't have to be a dirtbag, scene to scene to scene, dressed in, fine cashmere.
Vicuna, Pete.
Vicuna. I don't even know what that is. What is vicuna?
Vicuna is like an alpaca. It's like...
It is?
Yeah.
Where does a vicuna live?
I want to say they're also in South America, but I could be wrong.
I had no idea you had a dark corner of your experience.
Yeah, not that I have any coats of
them,
but they're one of the two wild South American camelids. The other is the guanaco.
Do they make coats out of guanaco?
I don't know if they do or not.
Oh, God.
Yeah, but vicuna wool is one of the world's finest natural fibers. They are cousins of the alpaca.
Okay.
Roaming wild in the Andean mountains at altitudes between 3,200 and 4,800 meters, Pete.
It does break my heart a little bit to think that they have these vicuna and they shave them at that altitude. They've got to be cold for a whole season. Don't you think?
You're so thoughtful.
I'm in it for the...
Maybe they probably do it during the summer. They need their summer shave.
I do that with I should make a coat out of my beard in the summer. Just a wee little coat.
Yeah, you should.
I'm going to do that and
wear
send
it
to you.
You should wear it.
Going to have a fat guy in a little coat experience. Okay. What else you got on your list for this movie?
I think it's worth talking a little bit about the fantastic cameos that we have in the movie. Hedda Hopper and Sidney Skolsky two famous Hollywood reporters are just like very much gossip columnists and everything. They both appear. Hedda Hopper is the one who's on the phone at the end when the cops are trying to use the phone. She's like, "This is more important."
Yeah,
it's a fantastic little scene. Cecil B. DeMille obviously is playing himself in here. And but the ones that are, I think, the fun ones worth bringing up are Buster Keaton, Anna Q. Nilsson, and H.B. Warner as the three people playing bridge with her. And seeing the three of them is fantastic. Buster Keaton, I'm a huge fan of Buster Keaton. We'll be talking about him in our next series because we're going to be looking at Seven Chances. H.B. Warner is just one of those faces that we have seen in so many things, like a lot of Frank Capra movies, like It's a Wonderful Life and Lost Horizon, and You Can't Take It With You. And so he's just one of those fantastic faces. And Anna Q. Nilsson is somebody who I really have seen very, very little of, but she was somebody who did continue performing in later years in films like Adam's Rib and stuff like that.
That was really fun. He called them, what did he call them? The Waxworks?
The Waxworks, yeah.
It's really touching. So sweet.
The Waxworks. Oh, it's another little interesting little nod. Oh, and speaking of our next series with Buster Keaton, her bed that she's sleeping in is in the shape of a boat that we see. That boat, it was owned by a famous like opera singer or something like that. And it ended up, Universal bought it in 1920, and it ends up getting featured in The Phantom of the Opera, which we're also going to be talking about.
Oh, I did not know that.
I know. Weird little
News to me.
Bits of history. I know.
All right. We talked last time, because this movie came out the same year as last week's movie.
Caged.
We talked about the production code challenges. What did you notice about this movie and what it may or may not have gotten away with in 1950 code production territory?
Well, I think that as far as whatever the relationship is between Norma and Joe, that they don't delve into it. Like I think the closest we see is him sitting down at one point and she's leaning back on him or something like that. Like it doesn't delve into like them waking up in bed together or anything like that. So I think those are some elements that we see of them playing it safe, even though they're talking about it,
Yeah. Most interesting to me, I think the boundary that he pushed. I mean, there's the immorality stuff that you bring up, but the fact that the movie ends with a dead guy in a pool, like a real dead guy with blood floating around in the water, like that just seemed kind of gruesome. And there is no sense of redemption at the end of it. That seems like a thing that they get away with, and to really be a film that is a critique of Hollywood's cruelty and do it without letting anyone off the hook at all. Like it just feels like the movie gives an honest portrayal of all of the machinations of the Hollywood system and does so without being overly kind to anyone. I think with the only exception being Cecil B. DeMille, who is just a real teddy bear. And I don't know how I don't know how to compare that to Cecil B. DeMille.
Yeah, no, he's fantastic. Not everybody took the film as being kind to Hollywood. Louis B. Mayer actually said to Billy Wilder, "You've disgraced the industry that made and fed you. You should be tarred and feathered and run out of Hollywood." So not everybody thought that it was a great glimpse into this world. Some people really took it personally that he was making them seem like a awful place that no longer respects older people. Yeah. It is. This is a movie that demonstrates a cruel Hollywood. Yeah. And I think that's really interesting that he sort of gets away with it. He really does. And, rightfully, this is one of the top films that Billy Wilder is most known for. I'd say this, Double Indemnity, Some Like It Hot. I don't know. Those three stand out to me as probably the core ones of his,
Yeah.
And this is the last film that he worked on with Charles Brackett. It's interesting because they had been collaborating for so long, and then they actually weren't sure. They got to a point where they weren't sure if they were like starting to be tone deaf because it's writing Hollywood, and so they brought on a film critic, that's D.M. Marshman Jr., who helped come up with some of the stuff in the script and ended up getting credited and winning an Oscar for it and everything. So was very appreciative of his role with this, but ended up not really having much of a career after this. I think that he's the one who came up with the line, as long as the lady's paying for it, why not take the vacuna? And so, but yeah, he had 2 more writing credits in Second Chance and Taxi, but never really took off. So ended up going and working in advertising. But yeah, anyway, I think that, I don't know what, Charles Brackett said it was a big surprise when Billy Wilder told him that they're not going to work together anymore. It wasn't like an angry breakup or anything like that. It's just, hey, I think I'm going to start writing my own sort of stuff or something like that. Didn't know why, and just always was kind of like scratching his head as to like what happened,
Yeah. It's a fascinating film. I'm glad we had the opportunity to talk about it. Do you want to engage in the conversation about Best Actress?
We should. Yeah. This is, again, part of the reason we're here, the Best Actress Oscar race. We've discussed Bette Davis and Anne Baxter, both from All About Eve, Judy Holliday from Born Yesterday, what's her name? I totally blanked on her name. Caged.
It was Eleanor Parker.
Eleanor Parker from Caged, and now Gloria Swanson from Sunset Boulevard. The people say, because Bette Davis's role and Gloria Swanson's role as older actresses and battling with their age in the system, kind of canceled each other out, which is why Judy Holliday surprised everybody by winning, even though everyone was expecting either Bette Davis or Gloria Swanson to win. Where do you stand, and how would you rank the 5 performances?
Well, I've only really thought super hard about the top couple, because I feel like you just laid out, the real fight is Gloria Swanson, Bette Davis for me. And I think I am landing this watch on Swanson. I think the fact that she is playing such a haunted kind of mirror image of herself while navigating this critique of the cruelty of Hollywood in this sort of dark satire is increases the degree of difficulty for her performance. And I think that she is able to make the grandiosity of her physical performance so believable and not lampoonish. I think represents something great for what she has done. So I am a big fan of Gloria Swanson. I think she should have taken it. Now, it probably should have gone Gloria Swanson, Bette Davis, Judy Holliday, Anne Baxter, Eleanor Parker. That's my ranking right off the dome.
Mine, I would put, for many of the same reasons you did, but I would end up putting Bette Davis on top, just because I think that she delivers such a nuanced, again, also big performance. But I think there's so much nuance and the way her character arc is over the course of the story. Like, I would put that at my number 1 and Gloria Swanson number 2, but man, those two are so neck and neck.
Yeah.
And then Judy Holliday number 3, also I'd say very neck and neck. Like, she's just perfect in that role. I would put Eleanor Parker next, and I would put Anne Baxter last. I think Anne Baxter was fine in her performance. I mean, I think she's very, very good. And she's later in life acknowledged, if she had just pushed, instead of pushing for Best Actress, pushed for Best Supporting Actress, she probably would have won.
Yeah.
And so that's, it is what it is. It's hard. I don't know. It's the whole thing about how is it too long for a best supporting performance. It really should be kind of a lead role also, but I just don't think. I think she's a really interesting performance, but I still would put the other 4 above her. So that's where I would land.
Yeah. All right. We're very close for mostly the same reasons.
Yes.
And I think where I struggle with Judy Holliday is that it is I don't know, the dumb blonde chorus girl trope, being smarter than anyone expects, is super charming, and she demonstrates just a real skill at comic timing and intelligence over vacancy, right? That I think really plays. But it is just such a small role for me compared to and I'll give both Bette Davis and Gloria Swanson, again, degree of difficulty. Like it just feels like they had to do so much more to channel the complexities of Hollywood and of aging and of grief that Holliday did not have to stretch to do.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's one hell of a performance still.
It is one hell of a performance.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Well, we will be right back. But first, our credits.
The Next Reel is a production of True Story FM, engineering by Andy Nelson, music by Rotem Cinnamon, Ian Post, Oriel Novella, and Eli Catlin. Andy usually finds all the stats for the awards and numbers at the-numbers.com, boxofficemojo.com, imdb.com, and wikipedia.org. Find the show at truestory.fm, and if your podcast app allows ratings and reviews, please consider doing that for our show.
All right.
All right.
Is this me?
I guess it's you.
All right.
We're doing the same thing, aren't we?
I don't know. We'll find out. Well, hello there, darling. It's me, Andy Nelson. No, not the re-recording mixer. Yes, I know he's the one with the Oscars. I'm the other Andy Nelson. Yes, that one. Anyway, you may think my glory days are behind me, but I'm here to tell you that the magic of cinema never fades, and neither does my love for the silver screen. Just like my palatial home on Sunset Boulevard, Letterboxd is a grand destination for movie lovers like you and me. It's a place where we can come together to celebrate the timeless allure of film, to revel in the memories of our favorite performances, and to discover new cinematic treasures that will take our breath away. As a true connoisseur of the art form, I know you're always on the lookout for that next great film, that performance that will leave you speechless. And darling, let me tell you, Letterboxd is the key to unlocking a world of cinematic wonders. Imagine having your own private screening room, where you can explore the vast landscape of film history and connect with fellow devotees who share your passion. That's what Letterboxd offers, and so much more. And just like how I'm inviting you into my world, Letterboxd is extending an exclusive invitation to join their inner circle. Simply head over to thenextreel.com/letterboxd or sign up directly on Letterboxd and use the code NEXTREEL to receive a tempting 20% off your membership. This code works for both new signups and renewals, so everyone can indulge in the glamour of Letterboxd. With a Letterboxd Pro or Patron membership, you'll have access to a bevy of features that will make you feel like a true Hollywood insider. From ad-free browsing to personalized stats and streaming service notifications, you'll have everything you need to fully immerse yourself in the intoxicating world of cinema. So, darling, what do you say? Will you accept my invitation to join me on Letterboxd? Together we can keep the magic of the movies alive, just like the spirit of the golden age that still flickers within the walls of my cherished home. Visit thenextreel.com/letterboxd or sign up on Letterboxd now with the code NEXTREEL and let the Dream Factory welcome you with open arms. Remember, we didn't need dialogue. We had faces then, and we have them now, preserved forever on Letterboxd. Join me, won't you?
Preserved forever, darling. Sequels and remakes, Andy. Oh, man. DNA of Sunset Boulevard is everywhere.
It is
What
everywhere.
are the other ones that you've seen?
Well, what have I seen? Well, let's see. First of all, there's a radio play in 1951. So, they always tended to do that back then. There's a lot of movies that play homage or discuss it. Soap Dish, fantastic movie. The Player, we've talked about on the show, great movie. Gods and Monsters, great movie. Mulholland Drive, great movie. Be Cool, never saw that one. And Inland Empire, great movie. And also the ending of Cecil B. Demented, another I haven't seen, is a parody of Sunset Boulevard's final scene. There have been several failed musicals attempted over the years until finally Andrew Lloyd Webber's musical in 1993 with Patti LuPone out in the West End, and then Broadway 94 with Glenn Close. Now, there has been in talks for quite a while a film adaptation of the musical with both Close and Andrew Lloyd Webber producing, with Close still playing Norman, in development at Paramount Pictures, Rob Ashford directing, Tom McRae writing. It was supposed to start filming in 2019, but it was delayed with COVID, and then Paramount put it on hold in 2021. 2024, Close said it's still moving forward. New director, though. 2025, just this year, they said that they were still in talks to have her play Norma in the film. Who knows what's going on with it? And I've never seen that. Have you seen the musical?
I've heard it. I've listened to it, but I've never seen it. Okay, I don't care for it. Oh. I've soured on a lot of Andrew Lloyd Webber stuff.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Other than that, it has been something that has been referenced so many times in TV and music, politics. I don't know how much I want to go into the political story of this, but our current president says this is one of his favorite films, if not his favorite film, and has shown it many times in the White House. And also, weirdly, in the world of caged wrestling, it's also, something. I think in Australia, in some Australian wrestling, they have, there's a whole, wrestlers, a whole storyline that has been pulled from this. So
wow,
yeah, weird stuff.
I don't follow it. I would not be able to recognize that.
Yeah.
How to do at award season?
Yeah, it's a big one. 21 wins, 20 other nominations. At the Oscars, it had 11 nominations. At the time, it was one of the most nominated films. And one of the films that had all 4 acting categories nominated with no wins. I think that's only happened like 3 times. Holden was nominated for actor in a leading role, but lost to Jose Ferrer and Cyrano de Bergerac. Eric von Stroheim was nominated in supporting role, but lost to George Sanders in All About Eve. We already talked about Swanson losing Best Actress to Judy Holliday, and Olsen lost Best Supporting Actress to Josephine Hull in Harvey. It won Best Art Direction Set Decoration, lost Best Black and White Cinematography to The Third Man, lost Best Director to All About Eve, lost Best Editing to King Solomon's Mines, won Best Music Scoring of a Dramatic or Comedy Picture, won Best Writing, Story, and Screenplay, and lost Best Picture to All About Eve. So, All About Eve was a big one at the WGA Awards. It did, however, win there for Best Written American Drama. And at the Cahiers du Cinéma Awards, it was nominated for Best Film and ended up coming in 8th place. They actually just rank them behind, in this case, The River, Diary of a Country Priest, Miracle in Milan, The Young and the Damned, All About Eve, which still beat it, Miss Julie, and Story of a Love Affair.
Wow.
I know. Last but not least, in 1989, Sunset Boulevard was included in the first group of films selected for preservation in the National Film Registry.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah.
It's a terrific film. I'm excited about our next segment because I think you might have something to report. How did it do at the box office?
Well, for Wilder's dark glimpse into Hollywood, he had $1.75 million, or just under $23 million in today's dollars. The movie opened August 10th, 1950, though weirdly I also see that it premiered a week earlier in Turkey, of all places. Who knows if that's accurate? Anyway, the film was a massive success and went on to earn $5 million at the box office, or $65.7 million in today's dollars. That lands it with an adjusted profit per finished minute of $388,000. But more importantly, it has been marked in history as one of the greatest films that Hollywood has produced.
If you're faced with a flick chart choice between this and All About Eve, what do you pick?
I would pick All About Eve. That's a film that I really do like. But I mean, it's close. It's a really close. Like, it's a flick chart battle that this would lose to All About Eve for me, but they're still close to each other.
Yeah. man, I struggle trying to figure that out. I need to go back and see what did I do for all that. Anyway, I'm really glad we talked about it. I'm glad we checked off all these fantastic performances in this category, and yeah, it's a great film.
Fantastic film. I'm glad that we've had a chance to finally talk about it, and I'm glad for the chance to rewatch it because it was one I hadn't seen in quite a while.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that is it for today's conversation. Next week, we are starting the final leg of our celebration of films from across this last 100 years of cinema. This series is Cinema Centennial, 1925's pioneering visions, and we kick things off with a big one, Pete. That's right. Sergei Eisenstein's Battleship Potemkin.
Auga!
Have you seen this one? This is one I feel like jumping into 1925 is like the film school area where Pete never really kind of jumped into. Like I feel this is all going to be new films for you.
Some it's hit or miss. Some of them are. This one is one I've never seen, but I've heard a lot about. So
The Big Parade I've never seen, so that'll be a new one for both of us.
Yeah.
The Phantom of the Opera. Have you seen the 1925?
yes.
Have you seen the 25 version or that'll be one we'll have to see if we can find the 1925 version because they re-released it in like 1929 with sound and some new sound sequences.
Okay. I feel like I've seen that one. I went through a big Phantom of the Opera phase and saw all of as many of the adaptations as I could get my hands on, and
Nice.
I believe I went back that far. But 25 we're getting into some serious territory.
And same thing with the Gold Rush because Charlie Chaplin did that in 1925 and then he re-released it with new audio and everything in the 40s. And so we need to make sure we're watching the 25 version. And then Buster Keaton's Seven Chances, which is just a fun one.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
It'll be
a hell of a year.
It'll be an interesting
Hell of a
series.
year.
And our members voted. We're talking about Ben-Hur, A Tale of the Christ, which I've never seen. So
Not that Ben-Hur. Also,
not that Ben-Hur. Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Should have been. It should have been called that in the re-release.
Not that Ben. The one we know should have been called Not That Ben-Hur.
Right. Okay.
All right. Well, we'll be right back for our ratings.
All right. This is me.
C.
You know, there are a lot of ways to listen to podcasts in this town. Most of them won't cost you a dime. But there's one thing about free. You get what you pay for. No bonus episodes, no early access, and those ads, they never stop coming. The Next Reel member community, it's different. For the price of less than a movie ticket a month, you get bonus episodes, early access, in-episode bonus content the regular audience never gets to hear in your own personal podcast feed. It's ad-free. You can join us for the live stream recording sessions. And, oh yeah, the Speakeasy back door for exclusive channels in our Discord community. But here's what really matters. You're directly supporting the podcasts you love. See, in this business, nothing lasts forever. Shows come, shows go. Hosts disappear. But when you join the Next Reel member community, you're keeping the lights on. You're making sure we're still here, still talking about films that matter. So join us at thenextreel.com/nope. So join us at truestory.fm/join. After all, we're ready for our close-up. Are you? Ba-ba-ba.
You thought that I went the same direction as you?
Yeah.
I couldn't even figure out what direction you went. You sounded like Sam Elliott as sitting at the bar next to the dude.
How dare you, sir? How dare you? That was my film noir voice. That was film noir voice. How dare you?
Okay.
All right. Letterboxd, Andy. Oh, Letterboxd, what are you going to do? Is this an easy one? This is an easy one.
It's an easy one. This is absolutely 5 stars and a heart. I just love this movie.
5 stars and a heart. It is, for crying out loud. And it's exactly what I gave All About Eve. I don't even know which end is up anymore.
Yeah, it's tough. They're great films. It was a good year. Good year. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that averages out to 5 stars in a heart and rounds to 5 stars in a heart. You can find that on our account at Letterboxd at The Next Reel. You can find me there at Soda Creek Film. You can find Pete there at Pete Wright. So what did you think about Sunset Boulevard? We would love to hear your thoughts. Hop into the Show Talk channel over in our Discord community where we will be talking about the movie this week.
When the movie ends,
our conversation begins.
Letterboxd giveth, Andrew.
As Letterboxd always doeth.
Apparently, you know who really giveth is VCE English.
That's right.
What is that again?
Victorian Curriculum Authority down in Australia. Apparently, this film has been assigned in the class there, and a lot of students have had to watch it, and a lot of students have voiced their disdain for the film.
It's funny. It's like a whole class is down there at the half stars, just sharing the trash reviews. The one I went with is not. I don't think it's a VC English one. It's in the area. It's a half star from Aaron, who says, "I hate this stupid movie. Did you know that the monkey was supposed to be Norma's lover? Yeah." Now, I didn't find any information to corroborate that, but I do think it's important to share that here.
Yeah.
If you go in believing that, then it's possible that this movie would be tarnished for you from jump.
Was the monkey the third husband?
Oh my God, Andy. Oh my God, they were all in the house at the same time.
Oh my God. All right, well, I have a half star by Molly Hanley, who says, R.I.P. Norma, you would have loved Skip the Dishes, Botox, Tinder, and the mute button on Zoom.
That's really good.
Yeah.
Oh my God. The mute button on Zoom. Oh, thanks, Letterboxd.